Yo, you finally came to meet me. Dude, I've been waiting for this. Let's finally talk. Well, I'm finally glad you came to meet me here.
What did you want to do?
Look, man. We've been hanging at these stupid bars for a while. When's the last time me and you went on an adventure? Like a real adventure?
Didn't we hang me and that dog?
That's not even
That one
us.
time.
That's not even me.
I can't
not
see
even
humans, okay? You guys aren't fucking
Okay.
with this shit.
It's besides
You
the
guys like this shit.
right? Me and you, we got this cool treasure map from the Slanesh temple that we raided last time. Why don't we just take it, go on a little small
wouldn't be
adventure,
shooting
have a
anywhere
little
with you.
fun. Me and you. Yeah, exactly.
Fine, whatever.
Hey, all the map is, it's just a piece of paper. It's us that
What
got all of
the
it.
fuck does that
That's all I'm
mean?
saying. Well, at least treasure. You get what I'm saying. Come on. Good, you good? All right, look. Look at that beauty. Whoa. This map is absolutely magnificently drawn.
Do not like this.
Oh yeah, we here for an adventure. Hey,
We're gonna get
by the way,
lost.
have you been to this planet?
I've never once been to this.
It says something about vents and violence.
It sounds bad.
I don't know, one teleport spell, we're in there. Let's go, let's explore. What do you get when you mix up Not Safe for W artists and TTRPGs? Well, you get Vents and Violence, a game with a whole lot of lore, but more importantly to its player base, a whole lot of act. With this game, we're gonna go over its system mechanics, the creatures that inhabit this beautiful world, and that's about it, because there's a lot of lore, and I mean a lot of lore. This is really thoroughly written. I do want your lore heads to go check it out and see as many things that I have seen while reading this. So first we're gonna go over what type of dice it uses. The core mechanics of this game is a D20 system. That's the dice it chooses to employ, as seen here. Now, the D20 system goes along with the DC mechanic, as it should, right? Which is you have to roll the D20 and add up your stats to see if you reach that DC. A basic system, a system that was brought to you by D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, right? But unlike D&D, its stats is separated into 4 categories: Moxie, Hotness, Brawn, and Smarts. These 4 categories determines the makeup of your character, along with their race and class. Now, why isn't class and race part of the mechanical stuff? Number one, because I have skits for each race, and I didn't want to lump all the skits in at once. And number 2, because classes, how they work in the game, is actually something you have to train towards. We're going to talk about that system in a minute, but let's create a character.
Holy shit.
Look,
You
we
can
got to the
actually
portal.
make portals.
Now, the map says all we
What
got to
do we
do
need to
is
go
go
to?
through the goblins, Dragonkin, elves, humans,
Is that a map or a
dwarves.
fucking list? You're pointing at it like it's a
After
list.
that, we'll just be right on our way to find the treasure.
Alright,
Actually,
what treasure are we looking for?
The way, so you can rest up, because I know you get tired.
You know I don't need rest. You need to start with this slander.
So,
That
I believe
outfit's
it's all
fucking
I got.
trash. And the nigga thinks he's cool.
Let's first start with the goblins. Starting off, we're going to start with there's 2 types of goblins. There's wild goblins and then there's civilized goblins. These goblins don't start off with self-actualization until they ingested a cocktail mix of cave mushrooms and hallucinogens that they found in a cave. These goblins that gain sentience call themselves gobos. Now, these gobos meet this giant city called Pyrmir, I think that's how you pronounce it, where it's surrounded by this giant tree that leaks tons of sap a day, which they then make their goblin alcohol. This alcohol is why most goblins are scantily dressed, and it's the main factor of why everybody blames that the goblins are wildly dressed, right? Now, goblins can come in all shapes and sizes. Some very short, which is like 4'2", and some very tall, which is like 5'5". All goblins can come in a wide range of colors, which is gray, green, and blue, I think. I'm not really sure about the third one. They start off with a +1 in Moxie, and they get to pick these cool list of traits. Let's move on. Okay, let's go find these goblins. Oh look, I think there's some over there. Scan them. Well, why you keep saying goblin? They're goblin? No, they're goblin.
Goblin?
What do you mean they're goblin? Hey, what do you guys gobble over there? My homie says you're goblins. Goblin?
Look, I told you.
We gotta get the fuck up out of here. Dragonkin, which is a catch-all term for anything that is dragon or lizard folk-like. Now, these guys live in a river city named Ars, and those tendrils you see on their heads are not just for aesthetic, but actually part of their brain. Meaning if they get one of these bad boys cut off, they could end up forgetting something that is straight from the book. The other thing about these guys is that their gender is reversed. The males are actually females, and the females are actually males in the sense of how they reproduce, right? Now, these guys take up the river city Ars, or ours, as they pronounce it. It's, you know, they take up most of the people of the river city. And when it comes to inheritance, because they have so many kids, they next to gain absolutely nothing. So it sucks to be you if you're a kid of a Dragonkin. And they make up most of the unemployment rate. The book points that out for us. Now, the coolest thing about these is that I can't tell you what, you know, stats they have off rip because they don't have stats. It's a catch-all term, which means it's divided into these 4 sub-races. And you can look on screen here. And these 4 sub-races, it seems like doesn't really determine much, so I'm not gonna go into them. But I am gonna move on to the next.
Elves hate the march.
All right, man. So, it seems like the next one we gotta go to is the village of Dragon.
Dragon what? Is your second name?
Dragon what? Drag these balls across your face.
That's not funny.
Drag what across your face?
What the fuck? Next off are elves. Now I'm gonna start this by saying elves are super fertile, which means they can stay indefinitely in a stasis of pregnancy. The book included that, guys. I'm just reading it from the book. Now, another thing about the elves, if they die, that fertility actually goes into the ground and becomes wormwood trees. Now, this is a secret kept from them by the council, and they made it a cultural tradition to either cover the elf in sap, then bury it, so it's forever in the ground, or to eat thy brother corpse, meaning elves are cannibals. Now, it seems like there's 2 types of elf cannibals, right? There's ones that, you know why and follow the tradition, and there's just the fucking crazy shit ones that want to eat people. They also take a liking to vegetables, so that's good. A side of human with some peas, right? And they don't gain muscle mass at all. Their muscles actually become tighter, giving them the ability to do more acrobatics. And how you can tell a male from a female at a quick glance is female thighs are thicker while male arms are thicker. It's an either or scenario, yep. So it's a female, thick thighs. If it's a male, thick arm, right? And this is thick out of being skinny. So pretty much. Now, they have a underground tomb where they keep humans, and elves actually live in harmony with their zombie counterpart. So this is the one place where you can become a elf and a zombie and they'll still be cool with you. Another thing is that they have this thing called a warden, and this warden will go around scouring the world, making sure that elf follows their traditions. And if not, they will kill you and cover you in sap or eat your corpse. So that's pretty cool. Now, another thing about these elves is in their zombie form, their magical fertility will leak, making every zombie near them, let's just say it works as an aphrodisiac. Let's just say that, right, buddy? So you get what I'm saying here? The zombies get a little frisky, if you catch my drift. So with that, that is the elves. They have a +1 in hotness and all these traits. Let's move on. So now all we gotta do is figure out where the elves are. This should be really simple, right? Where could they be?
Why are you looking
What
up?
do you mean why I'm looking up? elves live in trees. That
What's
don't
going
know
on,
crap.
trees? That's xenophobic.
It's not racist.
I didn't say racist, I said xenophobic.
I'm gonna let it.
What the fuck me out being in
Look at
that
these
room?
elves
Don't be
be.
with it.
Look at
Give me
that
shit.
building over there.
No fucking way. You know, that actually checks out. I'm pretty sure they're
You don't
they're
think?
the same in my world,
Actually,
too.
never mind. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no.
Humans. You would think the humans are the most common, but as the setting continues, humans only become more and more uncommon. Why is that so? Well, it's simple. Humans can't stop shagging. Now, humans of all types in this setting produce other kin. And these other kin are produced when a human and another race mix together. And, you know, that has become more of the norm because they have a penchant for it. They like what they see. Hey, I feel you, brothers. Now, humans has a +1 in smarts, and simply enough, their culture and all that stuff is based off of geography. I would name all the cities that they can be found at, but it is a lot of cities. Now, if we're talking pure humans, it's actually only 2. It's the Great Tomb, I think it's called, where it's just full of dead people, and it's the houses, where they just, houses of Ruffalo, I think it's called, or Ruth, where they're more focused on assassinating each other than reproducing. Now, humans don't F with lizard folk because they're very similar, and that's bad. Because humans hate any creature that's similar to them. Cindy. Now, humans became uncommon during this setting because they just killed each other a lot. Their propensity to not reproduce with the same species and killing each other a lot and having little to no magic, it seems like kind of makes them that way. You can have magic as a human, you're just not naturally born with it. As I said, all these traits, we're gonna move on. Pretty sure I already. Oh, look at that guy.
What? Scanning. That guy's 99% human.
What do you mean
only
your
1%
scan
horse.
says he's 99% human and only 1% horse?
Alright,
That is a full horse.
tell me he's fucking half.
Hey man, what's human about you?
Don't ask these creatures any questions. Oh
my God. From what I read, orcs are just impulsive. They're the goats, I like to call them. So how this world works is that they went over wipes, right? Think about it like rust wipes. I know. And the dwarves killed their orcs when they had control over the entire world, but orcs came back for a second term. And that's what we like to see. Yeah! So now, what about the orcs? What do you need to know? Well, they're nomadic, mostly because orc tribes need to stay small. Why do they need to stay small? Orcs are naturally impulsive, but good-natured creatures and competitive. That competitive makes it so when 2 orcs are near each other, they just kind of feed off each other's energy, becoming twinning and having an all-around good time. What do I mean by that? Let's go deeper. Yeah. So if orc 1 drinks 1 pint of Dr. Pepper, orc 2 gotta drink 2 pints. Don't get orc 3 started. That guy gotta drink 4. Gotta double up. Oh, now all 3 of these orcs, they just chugging away Dr. Pepper. Oh no, they're now robbing a Dr. Pepper factory because they need more. See, that's the common orc problem. And when I say common, I mean common, right? Orcs make good pirates, good bouncers, good mercenaries, and they mostly are all those things. Funny enough, they kind of just travel. They're good natured, and this penance to penance. I'm not sure if I'm using the word penance correctly, but this propension, I think the word is, to outdo one another leads to mind-blowing stuff. If you get my drift, but it also leads them to be great people, but light-hearted and light-minded. So orcs are all around good. They're also great kissers. That's it. I mean, they're not great kissers, my personal opinion. I mean, they love kissing. They love it. They actually, that's how they choose a mate, through tusk compatibility. Their size is 8 feet tall. Hey, if I didn't say sizes for the other ones, it's probably because their size is pretty standard when it comes to like mythology. So, or like, you know, stuff. So that's why I didn't say the sizes. You guys will already know. But these guys are super tall. They base their love off of tusk, and they have -1 smart and 2 bronze. And they have all this list of tricks you can pick from right here. Let's go.
What What's on the rest of the
now,
list?
all we gotta do is the orc.
These are a lot of creature
And the,
villages we're visiting.
Dwarves and Centaur.
The
Okay,
orcs?
man. Let's go.
I
Let's
fucking
get
hate orcs.
Oh, look. We found the orc village.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna go talk to him. Yeah,
Hey, what are you doing?
just a conversation.
Now, there's two types of dwarves. You got your above ground dwarves and your underground dwarves. Now, we're gonna start with the above ground because they're much shorter. The above ground dwarves have little to no knowledge of their actual history or their culture, so they make use of their hard work ethic and become fighters or drinkers. That's just about it, like mercenaries. Example. Underground dwarves, now, let's get into it. Underground dwarves have no concept of smecks in the physical or actionable sense, in the verbiage sense, if that makes sense. So what I mean by that is, all male dwarves think all dwarves are male. All female dwarves think all dwarves are female. Off rip. So there's already a good gas in between the two. And their word for being unclothed is unarmored, closest translation. Their word for the activity is mining accident, you know. So fortunate mining accident, there we go. Now, with that being said, dwarves, they are hard-working motherfuckers. Their hair grows several inches a day, meaning that dwarves from the underground usually use their beards to mask their face in an attempt to filter out dirt and grime. And even female dwarves will grow a beard and they will coddle their babies in it when they do have offspring. Other than that, there's not that much other than the separation between above ground and underground dwarves. They don't really like each other. Above ground dwarves usually magically remove their beards and all that because it's annoying. They don't really need it. And even underground dwarves sometimes realize there's more to the surface than being underground, I guess. So yeah, they're chill out. They come with -1 hotness and +2 moxie. And there's a list of traits as so. Now, let's start out by saying centaurs is a catch-all term. Catch-all term for what exactly? For any human-animal mixed. Now, how did they come to be, right? Well, in the last turn, from what I'm catching, I'm not really that deep into this game's lore, the gods have a bet with themselves, which is without all the human livestock that they gained over time, that will erupt into chaos and disarray. And so they fuse the livestock in humans, giving us centaurs. Now, these centaurs usually hang around Ars, or ours, as the Dragonkin can call it, and they hang around this place because they have good beds. That is why. That is the core reason why they have a large population there. That is why it's called attributed. That's just me guessing. And a matter of fact, they mainly hang around the desert. And why they hang around the desert is because they go and lead people around. They're kind of like the navigators of the desert. And most centaurs don't like that because they're tired of assisting dumbasses around. So they go on and do their own thing, becoming adventurers or mercenaries. Most centaur martial arts boils down to putting people on their back and having them swing their swords. And from what I'm seeing, these centaurs are just universally good. They have a +1 ability score of your choosing, and they have these list of traits here. And that's it. Okay. Your scan says this guy is 99% centaur.
That's what it said.
All right. This can't be. That is definitely a human.
The question again.
Then look at this.
Oh my God. Just to leave some things to imagination, I actually didn't cover all races. There's actually 5 other races included, and they're mostly half races, except the last one, which are demons. So they will show up on screen quickly now. All right, let's move on. All right, to those who's following along, who's like making the character with me, we're now at the section where you pick out your supplies. Now, your starting supplies is already picked out for you, and it's a food and water for 4 days, a tent and simple bedroll, and 1d10 jade times 10 jade currency, right? And then after that, you roll a 1d6. You run a 1d100 6 times. That 1d100 will determine what out of this list of things you could possibly get. I know that's a pretty good list. If you look on the bottom there, if you roll a 1d100, like a nat 100, you get to pick 1d6 pets. That's kind of cool. And you just roll this 1d100 6 times, then that is your supplies. Very simple. Now, because how this game rolls, why would you be rolling for supplies? Well, from what I've noticed, this game's more about death. Death is part of the system, so it wants you to make a little bit more random character. Shout out to those who like picking their race and stuff, but relax a little bit. Just have a little fun. We're gonna move on to the next section. The next part should be your birth sign. These birth signs are not determined by what season you were born, but what god was closest to your birth, right? They can tell by the planets. All the old god names have been forgotten, so they're replaced with Dragonkin numbers. These birth signs do determine a lot of things about you, more so about your personality, but it also grants you 2 boons that you get to use. Now, these 2 boons can be anything, literally anything. And when I say anything, I mean they're given to you by the game. But when I say anything, I mean the game literally have some crazy boons. So we're gonna go over them in each personality trait. Thank you. Red-Eye can enjoy the arts. They have a especially good creative backbone, and anything to do with art, smecks, creativity, they thrive at. The 2 boons that you get to pick from this category are light magic, and anytime smecks would be good, it would be better. That's a category for that. Yeah, there's actually a category in this game. We may go over that during the combat section. Let's go to the next one. Now, the Dudai are the life of the party. You can often easily distract them by drinking or just having fun. They're mostly focused on anything to do with partying. Low-key, that's it, even the smecks part. Now, the 2 boons you get off these guys, either the immunity to poison or roll for death magic. Now, the immunity to poison makes sense. Death magic? Whoa, your alcohol tolerance is so strong, it's killing people by radius. That's how I'm interpreting that. And to end this segment off is life of the party. To think that I almost died. Hey, Miss Donna, don't you miss it? The Tri-Q are fucking annoying. That's what I gathered from the book. They're the most annoying and energetic and effortlessly irritating people on this earth. They usually are traveling barbarians, drinking through trials and tribulations, or they end up on the wrong side of the law and, obviously in prison. Now with this, you get +1 extortion usage, which can be used to initiate smacks, and you get +1 permanent moxie to, balance out those stats you have. 4 are like that demon from Big Mouth, the little green gremlin. They take pride in any job well done and any skill that they do. They're usually not ones for the silliness, but they're hard workers through and through. And whether they fight in combat or trade outwards, they will try their best, seemingly to be the best at what they do. They love it. They feel fulfilled by it. And that's what gets them going. Now, you either get a +1 in bronze with this boon here, or you get +3 health each level up. Yeah! Rick from Rick and Morty? That's the Fido. They're realists. People call them cynical. They call themselves the realest niggas on the earth. And these guys usually just be pissing out on the bar or, chilling at the library. They prefer rationale over anything, and they think that will always be, and may always be, the best approach. Now, with these guys, you get a nice little balance. You get to either choose 1 death magic spell or 1 light magic spell. Which kind of makes sense. We're rationale, balance out, knowing what objects to use at the right time. I kind of like the idea of it. Sassies are fucking Pocahontases of the world. They see the beauty in all things and the light of all things. These guys take a nice look at a blood on a blade and think, yeah, that's what life is about. They're the type of guys to go up to you and be like, take it all in. While you're at a construction site or freshly cut grass is next to you, or a gasoline just spilled. A gasoline, like a gasoline canister. I like the smell of gas, me personally. Now these guys get to roll for 2 light spells, or they get a +2 hotness as their boon, permanently, of course. Yeah! So how magic works in general is that you have a light and death. These 2 magic things work off the same base system, which is you roll 1d4 to determine magical uses, and then you roll a 1d6 to determine your first magical spell. Now, these are 2 sides of the same coin. Death magic was coined not because it can actually just instantly kill people, but because the spells are often used as violence. By Lily Death, I think that's the name of the actual wizard who invented them. While life spells are the residual from the creation of the earth. Here's them over here, here's them over here. Look at them, perceive them, internalize them. Now let's go on to move on to weapons and armor. We're gonna start off with the numbers. How weapons work in this game is that there's materials, the actual weapon in itself. Now, you roll a 1d10 to determine the weapon, then you roll a 1d6 to determine the materials, right? Keep with me now. Now, how damage is done within this game is, number 1, you don't have to roll to hit. What you usually roll is your weapon damage dice, whatever it is, right? Then the material plus your bronze stat. So, for example, if a guy has a wooden stick, +3 bronze, the example will be on screen. But it's very simple. You don't necessarily roll, but that's the average damage you'll do. I like it. It takes in fact the material and all that stuff. And I like how if you were a blacksmither, getting new material would generally really matter. I think games like this kind of offer you the value of playing different types of skill trades, which that is awesome. So look at it. To see what armor you get, 1d6, and the options you have is 90s female adventurer armor. So skimpy, medium, full, and light. Not in that order. I'm pretty sure it's skimpy, light, medium, full, within that order. And how armor generally works is that it negates damage altogether. Now, the armor that you will be assigned or that you get will have a dice assigned to it, like a 1d8, 1d6. You roll that plus your moxie to determine how much damage you actually negate out of the damage someone deals to you. That's about it. We're gonna go on now to determine your ability scores. You guys know the 4 basic ability scores. We already went over them, right? Now it's time for you guys to use them. Now, naturally, you start at a -4, then you roll a 1d6 to determine what is that score. Now, ability scores are gonna be really low starting off, but that's because it's supposed to ramp up and have a fun adventure. You could also use standard array, which you're seeing here. Each standard array, just put it wherever you like. And we already know what these ability scores do. I would think, I'm pretty sure I went over it in the instance that I didn't. Bronze strong, moxie, yeah, tough, hotness, hey, you're hot. And the whatever one's the last one. Here's your actual health here. It's 5 plus a d6 plus your moxie, right? That will determine how many health points you can take before you go down. Once you're down for 3 turns, down is being incapacitated, right? Knocked out, ding. Once you're down for 3 turns, you're then dead. All right, now there's another one, guys. And this more so has to do with your physical exhaustion during certain activities. Clarity. Yeah, so I'm gonna just post it on the screen so you guys can see it. You know what I'm saying? Because I think if I center it anymore, this will not get as many views. And this, I believe, needs views. Now, this is gonna be the end of the video here. I'm super happy we finished creating your character. I lied. At least, most adventurers have lives before they take up the sword, right? These lives are shown here with optional backgrounds. Now, there's a bunch of optional backgrounds and I would love to go through all of them, but I implore you to get the book. There will be a link in my description so you guys can read the book before we go over to the combat section. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is the final and last segment. Part 2 will be coming out, and I don't know. It takes me a couple months to make these things, and quite frankly, I'm not happy about the quality of this video. I need better lighting. I would maybe start writing fucking scripts. You know what I'm saying? I just want a more professionalism, like Dungeon Dad. That guy's fucking good. Or the guy who I personally like, I think is he does all the TTRPG reviews. I fucking love that guy. And yeah, so, you know, if I make another one, I make another one. If I don't, I'm sorry, guys. But bye.